What if the peace you have been looking for is not far away at all, but is waiting for you in this very moment, right here, in this quiet space, in this gentle breath, in this soft pause between one thought and the next? What if tonight is not a night for solving, fixing, chasing, or understanding everything, but a night for resting, releasing, and letting your mind lay down the weight it has been carrying for far too long? There is something deeply healing about the night. The world grows softer. The noise begins to fade. The pressure of the day slowly loosens its hold. And somewhere inside you, beneath all the thinking and all the tension, there is a calm place that still remembers how to rest. Tonight is not asking anything from you. You do not need to be stronger. You do not need to be wiser. You do not need to make one more plan, have one more answer, or figure out one more thing before you allow yourself peace. You have done enough for today. You have carried enough for today. You have thought enough for today. This moment is not here to test you. It is here to hold you. It is here to remind you that your mind does not need to stay on guard all night long. Your heart does not need to keep racing. Your body does not need to stay tight. You are allowed to soften now. Take a slow breath and let that breath mean something. Let it be more than air moving in and out. Let it be a signal to your whole being that you are safe enough to slow down. Breathe in gently, and as you do, imagine that you are drawing in quiet. Breathe out slowly, and as you do, imagine that you are letting go of pressure. There is no rush here. There is nothing to catch up to. There is nowhere else you need to be. This moment is enough. This breath is enough. This small, quiet pause is enough to begin. So many people move through the day carrying invisible weight, thoughts that never stop, worries that follow them from room to room, old fears that rise at night when everything gets still, questions with no easy answer, feelings that were pushed aside just to get through the day. The mind can become so used to holding on that it forgets how to put things down. It forgets that peace is possible. It forgets that rest is not something you earn only after everything is perfect. Rest is something you need while life is still unfolding. Rest is holy. Rest is healing. Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. There is a quiet truth that can change the whole feeling of your night, and it is this: you do not need to carry the whole world in your mind while you sleep. You do not need to keep thinking about tomorrow in order to be ready for it. You do not need to replay every word, every choice, every moment from earlier today. You do not need to hold every problem close just because it has not been solved yet. For this moment, you are allowed to set everything down. For this moment, you are allowed to trust that life can continue moving even while you rest. Maybe your mind has been busy for so long that peace feels almost strange. Maybe silence feels unfamiliar. Maybe when the room gets quiet, your thoughts get louder. That is all right. There is nothing wrong with you. It simply means your system has been carrying a lot. It simply means your inner world has been asking for care. And tonight, instead of judging your tired mind, you can be gentle with it. Instead of getting upset with yourself for thinking too much, you can offer yourself kindness. Instead of saying, "Why can't I calm down?" you can softly say, "It is okay. I am learning how to rest." There is so much power in that softness. There is so much healing in not being hard on yourself anymore. The mind does not quiet down because it was forced into silence. It begins to quiet down when it feels safe enough to stop defending, stop planning, stop searching, and stop carrying. Peace grows in softness. Peace grows when you stop demanding that you be calm right now, and instead begin to create the space where calm can slowly return on its own. Like a child who falls asleep more easily when held with love, the mind rests more easily when met with patience. So tonight, let this be your new way. No pressure, no trying too hard, no forcing sleep, no fighting your own thoughts. Just a gentle return. A gentle return to breath. A gentle return to stillness. A gentle return to trust. You do not need to push yourself into peace. You only need to open the door for peace to come in. And that door opens through softness. It opens through willingness. It opens when you stop saying, "I must control this moment," and start saying, "I can let this moment hold me." As the night settles around you, imagine it as a kind and quiet presence, not empty, not cold, not lonely, but calm, warm, and full of peace. Imagine the night wrapping around you like a soft blanket. Imagine the darkness not as something heavy, but as something gentle, something that covers the busy edges of the day and invites your soul to rest. There is peace in the dark when you stop fearing it. There is comfort in stillness when you stop resisting it. The night is not here to trouble you. The night is here to restore you. You do not have to understand everything tonight. You do not have to know where every part of your life is going. Some things can wait. Some answers can come later. Some problems do not need your attention right now. There is deep freedom in saying, "Not tonight. Not tonight. I do not need to figure it out. Not tonight. I do not need to hold it all together. Not tonight. I do not need to stay in control of every outcome. Tonight, I rest. Tonight, I soften. Tonight, I let my mind breathe." There are moments in life when effort is needed. There are times to act, to decide, to move, to build, to speak. But the night is different. The night asks for surrender. The night asks you to loosen your grip. The night asks you to trust what does not need your hands for the next few hours. This is not giving up. This is giving over. This is saying, "I have done what I can for today, and now I release the rest." The soul understands this kind of wisdom. The body longs for it. The mind, though tired and busy, can learn it too. If your thoughts begin to rise, let them rise without fear. You do not have to chase them. You do not have to answer them. You do not have to turn each one into a task. Thoughts may come, but that does not mean you must follow them. Let them drift by like clouds moving across a wide night sky. Let them pass without giving them all your energy. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every fear is telling the truth. Not every question needs an answer tonight. There is peace in letting a thought pass without building a whole world around it. And if you notice your body still holding the day, that is all right too. If your shoulders are tight, let them drop a little. If your jaw is tense, let it soften. If your chest feels heavy, breathe into it gently. Your body has been carrying your life. Your body has been trying to protect you. Thank it for that. Then let it know it can rest now. Let your body hear the message clearly. You do not have to stay alert. You do not have to hold so much. You are allowed to relax. You are allowed to feel supported by the bed beneath you, by the quiet around you, by the breath within you. There is a deep kind of healing that begins when you stop treating rest like a reward and start seeing it as care. You do not need to finish everything to deserve a peaceful night. You do not need to become someone else first. You do not need to prove that you worked hard enough, struggled enough, or carried enough. You are a human being, not a machine. Your mind needs stillness. Your heart needs comfort. Your spirit needs room to breathe. And when you honor that, something shifts inside you. You stop living only from pressure. You begin living from peace. Let the words settle into you now. Nothing more is needed from me in this moment. Feel how gentle that truth is. Feel how kind it is. Nothing more is needed from me in this moment. Not more planning, not more worry, not more effort, not more fear. Just this breath, just this pause, just this soft and sacred permission to rest. These words are not a trick. They are a doorway. And if you let them, they can lead you somewhere. Your mind has been longing to go for a very long time. You may not have given yourself this kind of permission in a long while. You may have become so used to carrying stress into the night that it feels normal now. But normal does not always mean natural. It is not natural for your soul to live in constant strain. It is not natural for your mind to stay trapped in endless loops of worry. It is not natural for peace to feel impossible. Peace is part of your nature. Calm is part of your design. Rest is something your whole being knows how to receive, even if you have forgotten for a while. Tonight can be a remembering. Perhaps you have spent many nights hoping your mind would just stop, hoping you could flip a switch and become quiet. hoping that if you thought one last thought, solved one last problem, checked one last thing, then maybe you could finally rest. But peace does not come by exhausting yourself with more mental work. It comes when you step out of the cycle and choose another way. Tonight, choose another way. Choose softness over force. Choose stillness over struggle. Choose trust over tightness. Choose rest over repeated effort. This is your time now, not the world's time, not the demands of the day, not the voices of pressure, just your time. Quiet time, healing time, time to come back to yourself, time to return to that gentle space inside that has never stopped waiting for you. You do not need to arrive there perfectly. You do not need to feel calm right away. You do not need to make this a performance. Even your willingness is enough. Even saying, "I want peace tonight," is enough to begin opening the door. If you can, let your breathing become a little slower now. Do not force it, just invite it. Let each breath be a little more gentle than the one before. Let the air move through you like calm water, quiet and smooth. Let the breath tell your nervous system that there is no emergency in this moment. Let it remind your mind that not every silence must be filled. Let it remind your heart that it does not need to brace itself. Let it remind your whole being that peace is not gone. Peace is here, and it is returning one breath at a time. It is safe to rest your mind tonight. It is safe to stop rehearsing tomorrow. It is safe to leave some things unanswered. It is safe to pause the inner noise. It is safe to be here in this simple moment with nothing to prove and nowhere to rush. There is a deep comfort in knowing that life does not fall apart just because you stop carrying it for a few hours. The stars continue in the sky. The earth keeps turning. The morning will come. Life knows how to move. And you are allowed to sleep while it does. So let the night be kind to you. Let it wash over the sharp edges of your thinking. Let it quiet the noise that has followed you through the day. Let it remind you that there is another way to live, a softer way, a calmer way, a way that does not ask your mind to stay busy every second just to feel safe. Tonight can be the beginning of that softer way. Tonight can be the moment you stop asking more from yourself and start offering yourself peace. Stay here a little longer in this opening. Stay with the breath. Stay with the gentleness. Stay with the permission. The night is not demanding anything from you. It is only inviting you to put down the noise, inviting you to lay aside the pressure, inviting you to remember that you are held by something deeper than your thoughts. And as you allow that truth to settle into you, your mind may begin to loosen, your body may begin to soften, your spirit may begin to feel the quiet comfort it has needed all along. This is where rest begins, not in perfection, not in certainty, not in having every answer. Rest begins here in willingness, in softness, in the simple choice to stop carrying so much for one night. And maybe that is enough. Maybe that is more than enough. Maybe that is exactly what your heart has been waiting to hear. The day asks a lot from you. Even on quiet days, the mind is busy. It notices, reacts, remembers, compares, plans, and carries. It takes in words, moods, pressure, noise, news, duties, and emotions. It keeps moving even when your body is tired. And by the time night comes, so much has gathered inside you that you may not even notice how heavy it feels until you finally stop. Then suddenly, in the silence, the full weight of the day appears. The stress you pushed aside, the feelings you did not have time to process, the thoughts that stayed in the background, the strain of trying to be strong, trying to stay on top of everything, trying to keep going no matter what. Tonight, you do not have to keep carrying the day. The day is over. Whatever happened has happened. Whatever was said has been said. Whatever was left unfinished can wait. You do not need to drag the day with you into the night, as though your mind must continue working long after the hours have passed. You are allowed to set it down. You are allowed to stop replaying it. You are allowed to stop holding every moment so tightly. The day has already taken its place in time. You do not need to keep it alive with your worry. Sometimes the mind thinks that holding on is a form of protection. It believes that if it keeps replaying things, it will prevent pain. If it keeps reviewing mistakes, it will stay safe. If it keeps worrying about tomorrow, it will be prepared. But so often, this only creates more suffering. The same thought goes around and around. The same feeling stays trapped instead of being felt and released. The same tension builds in the body. And little by little, what began as a long day turns into a restless night. This is why release matters. Release is not carelessness. Release is wisdom. Release says, I no longer need to carry what this moment does not require. You may have picked up many things today that were never yours to hold this long. Other people's moods, other people's words, other people's stress, expectations, pressure, small hurts, disappointments, unfinished tasks, a look on someone's face, a worry about money, a fear about the future, a feeling that you should have done more. These things can settle into the mind and body so quietly that by night you feel heavy without knowing why. But now is the time to gently notice what you have been holding and begin to let it go. Not by force, not by pretending, not by pushing the feelings away, but by saying to yourself with honesty and kindness, I do not need to carry this through the night. There is a deep peace in that sentence. I do not need to carry this through the night. try letting those words move through you slowly. Let them reach every part of you that has been holding on. Let them touch the mind that has been trying to stay on top of everything. Let them touch the heart that has been carrying emotions in silence. Let them touch the body that has been storing the stress of the day in places you may not even notice. Maybe today brought things you did not expect. Maybe it asked more from you than you had to give. Maybe there were moments of pressure, frustration, sadness, or disappointment. Maybe you kept going because you had to. Maybe you smiled when you were tired. Maybe you stayed quiet when your heart was full. Maybe you put your own needs aside because there was no time. That happens to so many people. And when the night comes, all those unspoken things gather at the door of the mind, asking to be seen. So let tonight be gentle with that. Let tonight be a place where nothing inside you has to fight for attention anymore. There is no need to judge yourself for how hard the day felt. There is no need to shame yourself for being tired, stretched, or overwhelmed. The goal tonight is not to become untouched by life. The goal is to stop carrying life in a way that crushes your peace. You can care without carrying everything. You can love without holding every burden. You can be responsible without dragging every worry into your sleep. That difference matters. It changes everything. Because when you learn how to put things down, your whole inner world begins to breathe again. Imagine taking the whole day and placing it gently outside the room, not throwing it away, not denying it, just setting it down for now. The conversations, the plans, the mistakes, the tasks, the feelings, the questions, the pressure, the things you wish had gone differently, the things you are still waiting on, the things you did not finish. Set them outside the room for tonight. They will still be there tomorrow if they need your attention. But tonight, you do not need to sit in a room full of every unfinished thing. Tonight, let your room become a place of peace. The mind often believes that if it relaxes, something will go wrong, that if it lets go, it will fall behind, that if it stops thinking, it will miss something important. But the truth is, your deepest healing happens when you stop living in constant strain. The body repairs itself in rest. The mind clears in rest. The heart softens in rest. Your spirit returns to itself in rest. Rest is not lost time. It is where so much is restored. You are not falling behind when you sleep. You are being renewed. Let yourself feel the difference between carrying and releasing. Carrying is tight. Carrying is hard. Carrying keeps your chest heavy and your mind alert. Releasing is softer. Releasing creates space. Releasing is not saying nothing matters. It is saying not everything needs to live inside me right now. That is such a loving thing to say to yourself. Not everything needs to live inside me right now. Some things can wait. Some things can be placed in the hands of tomorrow. Some things can be left in the care of life itself for the night. There are burdens that do not belong in your sleep. Fear does not belong in your sleep. Shame does not belong in your sleep. Repeated worry does not belong in your sleep. Endless replay does not belong in your sleep. The night is meant to give you back to yourself. The night is meant to wash your system in quiet and help your whole being recover. But for that to happen, there must be some willingness to let go. Not all at once, not perfectly, just a little at a time, burden by burden, thought by thought, breath by breath. Start with one thing. One thing from today that you are ready to set down. Maybe it is a conversation that stayed with you. Maybe it is a fear about something unfinished. Maybe it is the feeling that you were not enough today. Maybe it is the pressure to get everything right. Maybe it is the tightness that came from trying to be in control of too much at once. Choose one thing and say quietly within yourself, I release this for tonight. Feel how gentle that is. I release this for tonight. You are not saying it does not matter. You are saying it does not need to live in your body while you try to rest. Then choose another thing. Perhaps it is the way you keep going back over one moment, wondering if you should have said something differently. Release that for tonight. Perhaps it is a worry about tomorrow that has already stolen too much of this evening. Release that for tonight. Perhaps it is the tired old belief that you must always carry more than you can truly hold. Release that for tonight. Little by little, the mind begins to understand that it is allowed to let go. Little by little, the body begins to feel safer. Little by little, peace becomes possible again. Sometimes the heaviest thing from the day is not what happened outside of you, but what you said to yourself inside. The quiet criticism, the pressure, the feeling of not doing enough, the thought that you should be further along, the fear that you are behind. These are heavy things. They stay with you because they feel personal, but they too can be laid down tonight. Tonight is not the night for inner judgment. Tonight is not the night for harsh words toward yourself. Tonight is the night for mercy. Tonight is the night for compassion. Tonight is the night to say, I am tired and I deserve gentleness. What if you stopped demanding that you be perfect before you rest? What if you stopped using the night to go over every flaw and every failure you think you saw in yourself today? What if tonight you let yourself be enough just as you are, with your effort, your tiredness, your unfinished things, your human heart, your imperfect day? There is a kind of peace that only comes when you stop turning against yourself. There is a kind of rest that only becomes possible when you stop making yourself the problem. Tonight, be on your own side. Tonight, let kindness be stronger than criticism. The body listens to the thoughts you think. When the mind keeps saying danger, pressure, hurry, fix, solve, the body stays tense. The shoulders rise. The breath gets shallow. The jaw tightens. The stomach knots. Sleep feels far away because your system thinks it must stay ready. That is why release is not only mental, it is physical too. As you let go of the day, let your body know that the pressure is easing. Let your muscles hear the message. Let your breath carry it. Let your heartbeat feel it. The day is over. You are safe enough to soften now. Even if the day was hard, even if there are still things waiting, for you tomorrow, you can give yourself this gift tonight. The gift of not carrying everything at once. The gift of not taking every thought seriously. The gift of not replaying every scene. The gift of not trying to live in tomorrow while the night is asking you to rest in today's ending. There is wisdom in ending the day gently. There is power in closing the door softly instead of dragging the weight forward. The way you end the day matters. It shapes the feeling in your body. It shapes the tone in your mind. It shapes the kind of sleep you allow yourself to receive. If your heart still feels full, let it be full without panic. If your mind still has a few thoughts moving, let them move without fear. Release does not always mean emptiness right away. Sometimes release means choosing not to grip what is still there. Sometimes release means letting thoughts be present without building more tension around them. Sometimes release means breathing through the heaviness instead of turning it into more struggle. Be patient with your own unwinding. The day may have wrapped itself tightly around you. It may take a little tenderness to loosen it. That is all right. Think of how a child sleeps after a long day when they know someone is watching over them. There is a softness in that trust, a letting go. A sense that they do not need to stay awake guarding everything. That same softness is possible for you too. You do not need to watch over every detail tonight. You do not need to stay mentally awake just in case. You do not need to control tomorrow from your pillow. Let life hold what you cannot carry tonight. Let tomorrow have tomorrow's concerns. Let this moment have only this moment's breath. You may have learned to be the one who keeps everything together. You may have become so used to carrying responsibility that release feels almost wrong. But deep down, your spirit knows that you were not made to live without rest. You were not made to hold every fear, every plan, every need, every pressure all at once. You were made to breathe. You were made to pause. You were made to trust, at least enough to close your eyes without holding the whole world inside your mind. That trust can begin now, even in a small way, even with one breath, even with one choice to let go. Say this quietly to yourself now. The day is over, and I release it. Let those words be slow. Let them move through you fully. The day is over, and I release it. Again, the day is over, and I release it. These words are simple, but they carry power. They tell your mind that it does not need to keep running. They tell your body that the pressure is easing. They tell your heart that it can stop bracing. They tell your whole being that the night is not for holding on. The night is for letting go. And maybe some part of you still wants to resist, still wants to say, but what about this, and what about that? And what if I forget? And what if something goes wrong? That is all right. Meet that part gently too. Do not fight it. Just remind it with kindness. I can return to these things tomorrow if needed. I do not need to solve them tonight. That is enough. You do not have to silence every concern. You only need to stop feeding it tonight. You only need to stop inviting it deeper into your rest. There is a quiet relief that comes when you stop carrying the day past its hour. You may feel it slowly, like a knot loosening. You may feel your breath change. You may feel tears come. You may feel nothing dramatic at all, just a small softening. Trust that small softening. Peace often enters quietly. It does not always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives as a little less pressure, a little less tightness, a little more space. That is enough. That is the beginning. That is the mind learning that release is safe. Let tonight become a place where your burdens do not follow you all the way in. Let tonight become a sacred pause between what has been and what will be. Let tonight become the space where your system remembers that it does not need to stay in motion forever. Rest is waiting for you. Not perfect rest, not magical rest that removes all human feeling, but true rest, honest rest, healing rest, the kind that begins when you stop dragging the whole day behind you and instead set it down with love. So place the day in gentle hands now, whatever that means for you. Let it be held somewhere beyond the edges of your effort for a little while. You have done enough. You have carried enough. You are allowed to be free from today for the rest of this night. And in that freedom, your mind may begin to quiet. Your body may begin to trust. Your soul may begin to settle into the stillness it has been asking for all along. One of the hardest things to learn is that the mind does not become quiet because we force it to be quiet. In fact, the more we fight it, the louder it often becomes. The more we say, stop thinking, stop worrying, stop feeling this, the more pressure we create inside ourselves. The mind senses struggle and responds with more movement. It becomes tense. It becomes alert. It becomes louder, not softer. This is why so many people lie awake at night, trying to make themselves calm, and only end up feeling even more restless. They are using force in the very place where softness is needed most. Peace is not something you can wrestle into place. Calm does not arrive because you demand it. Rest does not bloom in a heart that is being pushed. The mind quiets down when it is no longer being treated like an enemy. It quiets when it feels safe. It quiets when it is met with patience instead of pressure. It quiets when you stop trying to crush every thought and start letting the inner noise settle in its own time, like muddy water becoming clear when it is left undisturbed. This changes everything. Because once you understand that peace cannot be forced, you no longer have to make the night another battle. You no longer have to turn your own mind into something you fight against. You no longer have to become upset with yourself for still having thoughts. Thoughts may come. That is what minds do. But thoughts do not have to become war. They do not have to become proof that something is wrong. They can be allowed to rise and pass without struggle. And in that gentler way of being, the mind slowly learns how to rest. Think of how hard it is to fall asleep when someone keeps shaking you and saying, "Relax, relax, relax." The very command creates tension. The very pressure keeps you awake. This is what happens inside when you demand calm from yourself too harshly. But if someone lowers the lights, softens the room, speaks gently, and tells you there is nothing to do now, the body begins to trust. The mind begins to let go. That is the kind of atmosphere your inner world needs tonight. Not force, not pressure, a soft room inside yourself, a kind voice within, a sense that there is nothing to prove in this moment. The habit of fighting the mind often starts long before bedtime. Many people spend their days resisting what they feel. They push away sadness. They judge fear. They rush past tiredness. They deny stress. They silence their needs. Then night comes, and all the things they have been pushing down begin to rise. And because they rise at the wrong time, the person gets frustrated and tries to push them down again. But the more something is pushed down, the more energy it often returns with. That is why gentleness matters. That is why allowing matters. When you stop fighting what is present, it often loses its power to control you. This does not mean giving every thought full attention. It does not mean following every worry into a long story. It means something softer and wiser. It means not reacting with fear to the fact that thoughts are present. It means saying, "My mind is active right now, and that is okay." It means not turning the activity of the mind into another source of fear. There is so much freedom in not being afraid of your own thoughts. There is so much peace in realizing that a thought can be there without becoming your whole reality. The fighting mind says, "I must stop this right now." The peaceful mind says, "I can let this pass in its own time." The fighting mind says, "Something is wrong because I am still thinking." The peaceful mind says, "I am learning not to be ruled by every thought." The fighting mind grabs, pushes, braces, and struggles. The peaceful mind softens, notices, allows, and returns gently to the breath. One creates more noise, the other makes room for quiet to grow. This is why surrender is so powerful at night. Surrender does not mean you does. You stop caring about your life. It does not mean you become passive or weak. It means you stop trying to control the inner weather of every moment. It means you stop demanding that your thoughts line up perfectly before you can rest. It means you stop treating calm like a task that must be completed correctly. Surrender says, I can let this moment be what it is without turning it into a battle. That is where peace begins. Not in winning against yourself, but in no longer fighting yourself. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it tightly, it slips through your fingers. The more force you use, the less you hold. But if you keep your hand open, the sand can rest there softly. The mind is often the same. The tighter you grip, the more restless it becomes. The more you demand silence, the more tense everything feels. But when you open your inner hand, when you stop squeezing every thought, something changes. Space appears. Breath deepens. The pressure loosens, and quiet, little by little, finds its way back. So tonight, instead of saying, I must stop thinking, try saying, I do not need to follow every thought. Instead of saying, why can't I calm down, try saying, calm can return in its own time. Instead of saying, something is wrong with me, try saying, my mind has been carrying a lot, and it is learning how to rest. These small changes matter. They change the energy of the night. They change the way your mind feels inside your own body. They move you from war to compassion. They move you from force to softness. And softness is where rest begins to grow. The nervous system listens closely to how you speak to yourself. If your inner voice is harsh, demanding, and afraid, your whole body stays tense. But if your inner voice becomes kind, slow, and reassuring, the body hears safety. The heart hears safety. The breath hears safety. The mind begins to feel less alone in its activity. It is no longer being attacked for being busy. It is being guided back gently. And that gentle guidance works in ways force never can. Kindness calms. Patience soothes. Compassion opens a door that struggle keeps shut. If your mind has been overthinking for a long time, it may not trust calm right away. It may keep moving out of habit. That is all right. Habits take time to soften. The answer is not to become angry with yourself for still having them. The answer is to keep offering yourself another way, again and again, softly, faithfully. Each time the mind races, return to the breath without blame. Each time worry rises, let your body stay gentle. Each time you notice tension, loosen your grip a little more. This is how new peace is learned, not through one perfect night, but through many kind returns. There is a great difference between observing a thought and entering a fight with it. A thought may say, "What about tomorrow?" You can notice that thought and let it pass. But if you begin arguing with it, proving things to it, building new fears around it, then you are feeding the fire. The practice tonight is simple. Notice, do not chase. See, do not grip. Breathe, do not battle. Let thoughts move through like distant sounds outside a window. You hear them, but you do not need to get up and follow each one into the dark. Many people believe that if they stop worrying, they will become careless. But the truth is, worry and wisdom are not the same. A quiet mind is not an empty mind. A peaceful mind is not an irresponsible mind. Peace does not take away your ability to respond to life. It simply frees you from the false belief that constant tension is necessary. You can be thoughtful without being trapped in thought. You can be aware without being consumed. You can care without carrying every fear all night long. That is what peace teaches. That is the freedom of not fighting. When you stop fighting your own mind, you begin to hear something deeper beneath the noise. There is a still place in you that has not been shaken by every passing thought. There is a quiet place in you that knows how to breathe even when the mind has been busy. There is a deeper self in you that is not panic, not fear, not pressure, not the constant stream of mental activity. And at night, when you stop struggling so much, you can begin to feel that deeper place again. It may be faint at first. It may feel like a small pool of calm under a noisy surface. But it is there. It has always been there. You do not need to push your way down to that deeper calm. You only need to stop stirring the surface so much. Imagine a lake after a storm. If you keep throwing stones into it, the water stays disturbed. But if you leave it alone, the surface begins to smooth. The sky reflects again. The depth becomes visible. The mind is like that. Fighting is another stone. Fear is another stone. Pressure is another stone. Tonight, stop throwing stones. Let the surface settle. Let the mind find its own way back to stillness. This kind of peace requires trust. Trust that you do not need to control every thought. Trust that calm can come without force. Trust that your system knows how to settle when it is no longer under attack. Trust that sleep is not something you must earn through perfect thinking. Trust that rest can come to a mind that is still learning. Trust that even if thoughts are still moving now, quiet can arrive later. The night is long enough for peace to unfold. You do not need to rush it. When people are tired, they often become afraid of not sleeping. Then that fear itself becomes the reason the mind stays awake. It says, "What if I do not sleep?" What if tomorrow is hard? What if this keeps happening? And now the mind is no longer just thinking. It is fighting the future too. This where surrender becomes deeply healing. You can say to yourself, I do not need to force sleep. I only need to rest here. Even if sleep comes slowly, I can be gentle with myself. Those words remove pressure. They soften fear. They give the body a chance to stop performing and start relaxing. You are not failing because your mind is active. You are human. You are not broken because your thoughts are loud tonight. You are carrying life, and life can be heavy. But heaviness does not need to be met with more force. It needs care. It needs breath. It needs room. It needs the kind of love that does not say, hurry up and be calm. It says, I am here with you while you soften. That is the voice your inner world needs now. That is the voice that can lead you back toward rest. Maybe tonight the greatest healing is not that every thought disappears. Maybe the greatest healing is that you stop being afraid of them. Maybe it is that you stop punishing yourself for having them. Maybe it is that you stop turning bedtime into another place where you must achieve something. Maybe peace begins there, in the ending of inner pressure. Maybe rest begins when the war ends. Maybe your mind finally becomes quiet, not because you mastered it, but because you stopped fighting it and started loving it through its tiredness. So if thoughts come tonight, meet them like passing visitors, not like rulers. Let them knock without opening the whole house. Let them pass through the edge of awareness without taking over your whole night. Return to the breath. Return to the softness of the pillow beneath you. Return to the quiet truth that there is nothing to solve in this exact moment. Return to the kindness of your own voice. Return to the gentle choice not to struggle. Say this inwardly now. I do not need to fight my mind to find peace. Let those words rest in you. I do not need to fight my mind to find peace. Again, I do not need to fight my mind to find peace. This is a new way, a softer way, a wiser way, a way that does not create more pain in the name of trying to feel better, a way that lets peace enter by not blocking it with force. And as you continue resting in this truth, the mind may begin to loosen its grip. The breath may become quieter. The body may become heavier in the best way, supported, grounded, ready. Thoughts may still drift here and there, but they no longer need to control the night. You are learning something beautiful now. You are learning that quiet is not created through battle. It is invited through softness. It is allowed through surrender. It is received when you stop fighting and begin trusting that peace knows how to find you. There comes a quiet moment in the night when you are invited to remember something your tired mind may have forgotten during the day. He is still moving, even when you are not pushing it. Life is still breathing. even when you are no longer planning every detail. Life is still working, even when your hands are still, your eyes are closed, and your thoughts are no longer trying to carry tomorrow before it arrives. This is one of the deepest kinds of peace, to know that you do not have to stay in control every moment in order for life to continue guiding you. So much of the day teaches you the opposite. It teaches you to stay alert, to think ahead, to prepare, to manage, to solve, to hold things together. And while there is a place for that, there is also a time to release it. Night is that time. Night is when the soul whispers, you do not have to keep steering every moment now. You do not have to keep checking every path. You do not have to keep asking what comes next. There is wisdom greater than your constant effort. There is a quiet order working beneath the surface of things. There is a deeper rhythm to life that does not depend only on how tightly you hold on. You may have spent years believing that control keeps you safe, and in some ways, that belief may have helped you through difficult times. It may have made you feel protected. It may have made you feel prepared. But control can become heavy when it never rests. It can become exhausting when it follows you into every hour, even into the sacred hours of the night. There is a difference between caring for your life and trying to carry all of life by yourself. One brings wisdom, the other brings strain. One lets you move with trust, the other keeps you tight with fear. Tonight, you are being invited to step out of strain and back into trust. Trust does not mean pretending that everything is easy. It does not mean ignoring what matters to you. It means remembering that you are not alone in the unfolding of your life. It means remembering that not everything depends on your effort alone. It means remembering that there are things moving for you that you cannot yet see. Even now, while you are resting, life is still arranging, still guiding, still opening, still making room, still carrying what your mind has tried so hard to hold. There is something so tender and powerful in saying, I can rest and life can still guide me. Let those words move slowly through you. I can rest and life can still guide me. They are not careless words. They are words of faith. They are words that tell your nervous system it does not need to stay on duty every second. They are words that let your heart unclench. They are words that begin to untie the knot between safety and constant control. Because true peace is not found in controlling every outcome. True peace is found in trusting that you will be carried even when you do not know every step ahead. Think of how the earth turns through the night without your help. The stars do not ask for your effort to shine. Morning does not depend on your woe in order to arrive. There are great movements in life that happen with quiet certainty, without force, without panic, without your mind trying to manage them. That same wisdom lives in your life too. There are things being healed that you do not yet see. there are answers slowly forming. There are paths opening in quiet ways. There are pieces coming together behind the veil of your current understanding. You do not have to force all of it tonight. You do not have to know all of it tonight. You only need to rest inside the truth that life has not abandoned you. Sometimes the mind says, if I let go, everything will fall apart. But how many times has life carried you, even when you did not know how you would get through something? How many times has clarity come after a period of not knowing? How many times has a path appeared after you thought there was none? How many times has life held you in ways you could only understand later? The truth is, life has often been more faithful than fear would have you believe. Fear says, hold tighter. Trust says, breathe. Fear says, do not relax. Trust says, you are still being guided. Tonight, let trust be simple. It does not have to be dramatic. It does not have to feel big. Trust can be as small as saying, I do not need to know everything right now. Trust can be as gentle as letting one breath go without attaching a worry to it. Trust can be as quiet as loosening your shoulders and saying, I am willing to let life hold me for a while. Sometimes that is how peace begins, not through a great moment, but through a small, soft choice to stop gripping the future so tightly. You do not have to control tomorrow tonight. You do not have to live tomorrow before it comes. You do not have to solve all the possible problems that fear tries to place in front of you. Most of what the mind worries about in the dark never becomes what it imagined. And even when life does bring real challenges, you do not meet them best through exhaustion. You meet them best through presence, through calm, through inner steadiness, through the strength that comes from being rested rather than worn thin. That is another reason trust matters tonight. Because trust gives your body and mind the chance to recover the strength you need for what is real, not what fear invents. There is a beautiful kind of surrender that says, I have done what I can for today, and now I place the rest in larger hands. You do not have to name those hands if you do not want to. You may call it life, love, divine wisdom, grace, the universe, or something beyond words. But there is comfort in knowing that you do not hold every thread alone. There is comfort in knowing that some things can be placed into a deeper care for the night. There is comfort in knowing that your soul can rest in something greater than the mind's constant effort. If your heart still wants proof before it can trust, that is all right. Be gentle with that too. Trust does not always arrive all at once. Sometimes it grows slowly, breath by breath, night by night. Sometimes it begins with nothing more than this one moment of willingness. A willingness to believe that rest is not danger. A willingness to believe that life does not stop supporting you when you stop overthinking. a willingness to believe that there is a kindness moving in your life even when you cannot yet explain it. You may not see the full picture now, but you do not need the full picture to rest. You only need enough softness to stop resisting this moment. You only need enough trust to let your body sink a little deeper. You only need enough faith to let your mind step back from its constant watch. You only need enough openness to say, "For tonight, I release the need to control what I cannot solve right now." That one sentence can change the whole feeling of the night. It creates room. It creates breath. It creates peace. Life has a way of unfolding that the mind cannot always understand in the moment. There are times when delays make sense only later, times when what felt like silence was actually preparation, times when closed doors were protection, times when what looked like confusion was leading you somewhere wiser, kinder, and more true. If you have ever looked back on your life and seen that something worked out in a way you could not have planned, then you already know this quiet truth. Life often knows more than fear does. And tonight, you can rest inside that truth. The need to control often comes from the need to feel safe. So rather than judging that part of yourself, thank it gently. Thank the part of you that has tried so hard to protect you. Thank the part that has stayed alert, thought ahead, and carried so much. Then let it know that it does not need to work so hard right now. Let it hear these words like a soft hand on the heart. You can rest now. You do not have to guard everything tonight. You do not have to carry what life can hold for a while. There is great peace in knowing that tomorrow does not need to be solved from this pillow. The answer you need may not come through more effort tonight. It may come through sleep. It may come through stillness. It may come through a quiet moment tomorrow when your mind is clearer because you finally allowed yourself to rest. The next right step does not always come from pushing. Sometimes it comes from pausing. Sometimes it comes from releasing pressure. Sometimes it comes after you stop trying so hard to force the future into view. So let tonight be an act of trust. Not a perfect trust, not a complete trust, but a living trust, a simple trust, a breath-sized trust. Let it sound like this inside you. Life is still with me tonight. I am still being guided tonight. I do not have to force what the night was meant to soften. I do not have to stay in control in order to be cared for. I do not have to fear the dark in order to be ready for the morning. Feel how much gentleness there is in that. Feel how much space it gives your mind. Trust does not demand. Trust relaxes. Trust opens the hands of the heart. Trust lets the breath deepen. Trust allows the body to be held by the bed instead of held up by tension. Trust reminds your spirit that it is part of something larger than its current worry. Trust is not the absence of questions. It is the willingness to rest without having every answer first. If thoughts about tomorrow come, meet them softly. Tell them tomorrow will be met when it arrives. Tell them tonight belongs to peace. Tell them tonight belongs to rest. Tell them they do not need to stand guard at the door of sleep. Not every future moment needs to be visited in advance. Not every unknown needs to be solved before dawn. Life can be trusted one step at a time, one day at a time, one breath at a time. You are not alone in this night. You are not carrying your life by yourself. You are not abandoned in the space between today and tomorrow. There is support here, even if you cannot see it. There is guidance here, even if you cannot name it. There is a quiet wisdom surrounding your life, moving through your life, breathing beneath your life. Let that be enough for tonight. Let that be the soft place your mind rests against. Say quietly within yourself now, I trust life tonight. I trust that I can rest and still be guided. Again, I trust life tonight. I trust that I can rest and still be guided. Let those words become softer than fear, deeper than tension, and steadier than the noise of the day. Let them carry you away from effort and into peace. Let them remind you that life knows how to move, and for tonight, you are allowed to be still. There is a part of you that does not need more pressure tonight. It does not need more effort, more self-correction, or more trying to hold everything together. It needs healing. And healing does not always come through doing more. Very often, healing begins when you finally stop, when you stop running the same thoughts, when you stop tightening against what you cannot solve, when you stop asking your body to stay ready for things that are not happening in this moment. Healing begins when rest is allowed to do what constant effort never could. Rest is not empty. Rest is not wasted time. Rest is not something small. Rest is sacred. Rest is where the body repairs what the day has worn down. Rest is where the mind releases what it no longer needs to grip. Rest is where the heart gets a chance to soften after carrying so much. Rest is where the spirit returns to itself. There is deep work happening in stillness, even when it looks like nothing from the outside. Some of the most important healing in your life may happen not while you are pushing forward, but while you are lying here, breathing slowly, letting to. He might hold you. Many people have been taught to think of rest as something they earn only after they have done enough. But enough never seems to come, does it? There is always one more thing to finish, one more worry to solve, one more burden to carry, one more reason to stay tense. And so rest gets delayed, peace gets postponed. The body keeps going without the softness it needs. The mind keeps spinning because it never receives the message that it is safe to stop. Over time, this can make exhaustion feel normal. It can make struggle feel natural. But you were not made to live that way. You were made for rhythm, for effort and release, for movement and stillness, for doing and for resting. Healing asks for stillness in a world that often praises constant motion. Healing asks you to trust that pausing is not failing. Healing asks you to believe that softening is not weakness. Healing asks you to let your body be supported, your thoughts slow down, and your heart stop bracing for a while. That can feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you are used to carrying a lot. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong. It may simply mean you are returning to something your deeper self has needed for a very long time. Tonight, your body is asking for peace in ways words cannot always describe. It may be asking through tired muscles, through heavy eyes, through tight shoulders, through the quiet ache of being on for too long. Your body has held your emotions, your stress, your pressure, your unspoken fears, your rushing, your long days, your restless thoughts. It has carried you through all of it, and now it is asking for gentleness. It is asking for a chance to heal. It is asking for a night where it does not have to keep proving how much it can handle. Your mind is asking for healing too. A tired mind does not always need more answers. Sometimes it needs fewer demands. Sometimes it needs permission to stop sorting, comparing, replaying, and preparing. Sometimes it needs silence. Sometimes it needs the simple comfort of being told you do not have to figure everything out right now. That sentence alone can be healing. It removes pressure. It changes the inner tone. It reminds the mind that rest is not a problem to solve. It is a gift to receive. Even the heart needs rest. The heart grows tired not only from pain, but from holding too much for too long, from staying strong, from staying quiet, from caring deeply while pretending everything is fine. The heart can become so used to carrying emotional weight that it forgets it too deserves comfort. But tonight, let your heart rest too. Let it stop carrying what it cannot change in this hour. Let it stop guarding every bruise. Let it stop searching for answers in the dark. Let it be held in gentleness. Let it be reminded that it is safe to soften. There is healing in stillness, because stillness lets truth rise. When everything is noisy, you often cannot hear what your deeper self needs. But in quiet, something begins to become clear. In quiet, you may feel what has been hidden under busyness. In quiet, you may realize how tired you truly are. In quiet, you may remember how much you need kindness. And while that can feel tender, it is also beautiful. Because healing begins when what is real is finally allowed to be seen without judgment. Rest creates that space. It creates room for honesty. It creates room for softness. It creates room for the body, mind, and heart to begin returning to balance. You do not need to make healing happen tonight. You do not need to force your body to release every tension or your mind to let go of every thought. Healing is often quieter than that. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is just the slow return of breath. Sometimes it is the loosening of the jaw. Sometimes it is the moment the chest softens. Sometimes it is the first minute of the night when you no longer feel like you must stay prepared for everything. Sometimes healing is simply the end of struggle for one small hour, and that is enough. That is real. That matters. The night has a beautiful way of helping what is overworked begin to restore. Just as the earth grows still, your system can grow still too. Just as the sky darkens and the world slows, something in you can slow down. You are part of that same rhythm. You are not meant to stay bright and busy every second. You are not meant to live in constant output. There is wisdom in dimming. There is wisdom in withdrawing from the noise. There is wisdom in lying down and letting the darkness become a place of repair instead of fear. Rest is not laziness. Rest is not giving up on your life. Rest is part of caring for your life. It is part of spiritual healing too. Because when you allow yourself to rest, you send a message deep into your being that says, I matter enough to be cared for. My peace matters. My body matters. My inner world matters. I do not exist only to work, solve, and endure. I also exist to breathe, feel, heal, and receive. That is a holy truth. And many people need to hear it more than they know. Perhaps you have spent so much time being useful to others that you forgot how to simply be. Perhaps you have given so much energy to tasks, responsibilities, and people that you no longer know how to give peace to yourself without guilt. If that is true, let tonight be an undoing of that guilt. Let tonight teach you again that your rest is not selfish, your healing is not selfish, your need for peace is not selfish. A rested soul loves better. A rested mind sees more clearly. A rested heart becomes softer, wiser, and more open to grace. There are things inside you that can only be healed in a calm atmosphere. Constant pressure keeps old wounds awake. Constant fear keeps the nervous system guarded. Constant rushing leaves no room for deeper repair. But when the atmosphere changes, when the inner world becomes gentle, when the breath slows, when the mind stops demanding, something begins to melt. Old tension begins to loosen. Emotional weight begins to lift. The body begins to trust the moment more. This is why rest is healing, because it tells every part of you that it no longer has to live under constant strain. Healing also happens when you stop speaking harshly to yourself. A mind cannot heal in an atmosphere of inner attack. A body cannot fully relax while it is being criticized from within. A heart cannot soften when it is constantly told it is not enough. Tonight, choose healing words. Choose words that soothe. Choose words that comfort. Choose words that feel like warm light instead of sharp edges. Tell yourself, I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to heal. I do not need to earn this peace. My body knows how to receive rest. My mind can learn stillness. My heart is safe to soften tonight. What if you believed that sleep itself is a form of trust? That every time you let your body sink into the night, you are saying yes to healing. That every time you stop rehearsing tomorrow, you are opening space for restoration. There is something deeply spiritual in letting yourself be cared for by rest, in allowing the night to become a shelter, in believing that not all growth happens through effort. Some growth happens in hidden places. Some healing happens while you sleep. Some answers settle into place when the mind finally stops pushing. There may be parts of you that resist rest because they are still afraid. That is understandable. Do not shame those parts. Just bring them gently into the truth of this moment. Let them know there is no danger in slowing down right now. Let them know the room is quiet. The night is here. The body is supported. The breath is steady. This moment is not asking you to prove anything. It is offering healing. Sometimes fear softens, not because it was argued away, but because it was held with tenderness in a peaceful place. Healing is often a return to simplicity, a return to breath, a return to the body, a return to trust, a return to the truth that you do not have to keep pushing when what you truly need is rest. You may have gone far from that truth in the busyness of life, but tonight you can come back. Tonight you can remember. Tonight you can choose not to worship struggle. Tonight you can choose peace instead. Let your bed become a place of healing, not just a place where you collapse from exhaustion. Let it become a place where the day ends with kindness. Let it become a place where your body is thanked, where your mind is soothed, where your heart is comforted. Let it become a place where you do not carry your burdens like armor. Let it become a place where you are simply held. That changes the whole spirit of the night. It changes sleep from escape into care. It changes rest from something accidental into something sacred. Say softly within yourself now, rest is healing me. Again, rest is healing me. Let those words sink into every tired place inside you. Let them reach the muscles that have been holding on. Let them reach the thoughts that have been racing. Let them reach the heart that has been carrying too much. Rest is healing me. That is not wishful thinking. That is truth. Your body knows how to heal in rest. Your mind knows how to settle in rest. Your spirit knows how to return to peace in rest. And as you stay here with that truth, do not rush the process. Healing does not need to be measured tonight. You do not need to check whether it is working. You do not need to demand a certain feeling. Just let the night do what it was created to do. Let stillness do its quiet work. Let softness do its unseen work. Let breath do its quiet work. Let rest move through you like gentle water, touching what is tired, easing what is tight, calming what is overworked. There is nothing more you need to prove in order to deserve healing tonight. You are tired. and that is reason enough to rest. You are human, and that is reason enough to need peace. You are alive, and that is reason enough to be cared for. Let healing be simple tonight. Let it begin with less effort. Let it begin with permission. Let it begin with the understanding that the quiet you long for is not far away. It is already here, waiting inside the rest you have finally allowed yourself to receive. Fear has a quiet way of growing louder at night. During the day, there are many places to hide from it. There are tasks to do, people to answer, sounds in the world, things to look at, things to handle. But when night comes and the room grows still, fear often steps forward. Worry begins to speak. Old thoughts return. The future starts making demands in the dark. Regret whispers about the past. The mind reaches for control because it does not know what else to do. And suddenly, what should be a peaceful hour becomes crowded with restless thoughts. This happens to so many people. You are not strange for it. You are not weak for it. You are not failing because fear visits at night. Fear often rises when the world gets quiet because it has more room to be heard. But just because fear is heard does not mean it must be obeyed. Just because worry appears does not mean it is telling the truth. Tonight you are being invited to release fear and worry with gentleness, not by fighting them, but by no longer giving them the place of honor in your mind. Fear likes to speak in urgent tones. It says, what if this goes wrong? What if tomorrow is hard? What if things never change? What if you missed your chance? What if you are not ready? Worry repeats these questions until they begin to feel real, simply because they are repeated. But repetition is not truth. A fearful thought repeated many times is still only a thought. And tonight, you do not need to keep building your inner world around every fearful thought that tries to enter. You are allowed to hear it, breathe, and let it pass without making it your home. Some fears are about tomorrow. Some are about what has already happened. Some are old fears that have lived in the body for years. Some come from disappointment. Some come from pain. Some come from living through things that taught you to stay alert. Be gentle with all of that. Fear does not need shame. Worry does not need judgment. What they need tonight is a soft place to loosen, a quiet place to stop running, a loving choice not to keep feeding them. That is how release begins. Start by noticing what fear is asking you to hold right now. Is it asking you to carry tomorrow before it comes? Is it asking you to replay something from today? Is it asking you to revisit a pain from the past? Is it asking you to imagine the worst again and again? Notice it clearly, but softly. You do not need to panic because fear is present. You only need to become aware enough not to be pulled wherever it wants to go. Awareness is powerful. It breaks the spell. It reminds you that you are the one noticing the fear. You are not the fear itself. Tonight, you do not need to carry every fearful thought into sleep. You do not need to take every worry with you under the blankets. You do not need to lie down with all your what-ifs gathered around you like they belong there. They do not belong there. Fear does not belong in your sleep. Worry does not deserve the whole night. Regret does not need to follow you into rest. The mind may offer these things, but you are allowed to set them aside. You are allowed to say, not tonight. Not tonight, fear. Not tonight, worry. Not tonight, old thought. Tonight, I choose peace. There is something beautiful in naming what you want to release. Maybe tonight it is fear about the future. Maybe it is worry about money, health, love, family, work, or timing. Maybe it is the old habit of expecting the worst. Maybe it is the fear that if you relax, life will catch you unprepared. Name it gently. Then say, I release this for tonight. You do not need to promise never to feel it again. You do not need to solve it forever in one moment. You only need to release it for now. That is enough. That is real. That is powerful. Fear often keeps the body tense because it believes tension is protection. Worry keeps the mind moving because it believes movement is control. But the body can only stay tense for so long before it begins to ache under the weight. The mind can only worry for so long before it begins to exhaust itself. If you have been living in that cycle, tonight can become a holy break in the pattern. A pause, a quiet opening, a moment where you no longer agree to let fear lead, a moment where you no longer let worry decide the tone of the night. Try this gentle truth now. I do not need fear to protect me tonight. Let those words settle slowly. I do not need fear to protect me tonight. Again, I do not need fear to protect me tonight. There is something powerful in that sentence because it unties an old belief. It reminds your system that peace is not danger. It reminds your heart that calm is not carelessness. It reminds your body that softening is allowed. So much healing begins when fear is no longer treated as the only path to safety. Worry also has a way of pretending it is helping. It says, if I keep thinking about this, maybe I will solve it. If I keep running every possible outcome, maybe I will be prepared. But many worries never lead to wisdom. They only create exhaustion. They repeat the same circle without peace, without clarity, without rest. Wisdom feels different. Wisdom is quieter. Wisdom is steadier. Wisdom knows when to stop. Wisdom knows when the mind has gone beyond what is useful and entered a place of fear. Tonight, choose wisdom over repeated worry. Choose one calm breath over 10 restless thoughts. There may be worries that feel very real to you right now. Honor that. Do not pretend they are nothing if they matter to your heart. But also remember this: not everything that matters must be carried every minute. You can love something and still release it for the night. You can care deeply and still say, "I cannot hold this right now." You can face real life and still protect your peace. Those things can live together. In fact, they must if you want your soul to breathe. Fear about tomorrow can be especially loud in the dark. The mind tries to step into the future before the body has even rested. It tries to solve conversations that have not happened yet, problems that are not here yet, moments that do not yet exist. But tomorrow is not asking for your fear tonight. It will ask for your presence when it comes. And presence is different from worry. Presence is alive. Presence is clear. Presence can respond. Worry only circles. So let tomorrow stay where it belongs. Let it remain unopened for now. Let tonight be tonight. And what about the past? The things you wish had gone differently, the words you wish you had not said, the moments you still replay, the old memories that return when the lights go low. These too can be released for tonight. The past does not heal because you keep reopening it in the dark. Healing comes when you meet the past with compassion, when you learn from what you can, and when you stop punishing yourself with the same pain again and again. Tonight is not the night for punishment. Tonight is the night for peace. You may have fears that have lived with you for a long time, deep fears, quiet fears, fears you almost do not notice anymore because they have become so familiar. Fears of not being enough, fears of being alone, fears that things will not work out, fears that peace will not last. Be gentle with those too. They may not leave all at once, but even they can soften in the presence of love. Even they can quiet a little when they are no longer being fed by endless attention. Even they can lose some of their weight when you stop wrapping your whole night around them. One way to release worry is to return to what is true in this exact moment. Right now, in this moment, you are here. You are breathing. The bed is beneath you. The night is around you. This moment is not asking you to solve your whole life. This moment is only asking you to be here. Fear pulls you into imagined futures. Regret pulls you into the past. But peace lives here, in this breath, in this room, in this stillness. The more gently you return to what is here, the less power fear has to carry you somewhere else. If worry begins to race again, place your attention on the body with kindness. Notice where you feel it. Maybe in the chest, maybe in the stomach, maybe in the throat. Do not attack that feeling. Do not become afraid of feeling afraid. Just breathe into that place softly. Let your breath say, "I am here." Let your breath say, "You can soften." Let your breath say, "You do not have to carry this alone tonight." This is how release can happen, not by force, but by calm attention, not by denial, but by gentle presence. You do not have to empty your mind completely to release fear. Release is not always the total disappearance of a thought. Sometimes release means you no longer hold the thought so tightly. Sometimes it means the worry is still at the edge, but it no longer rules the center. Sometimes it means the fear is present, but peace is present too, and you choose to lean toward peace. That matters. That changes the whole inner atmosphere. The night becomes less about winning against fear and more about giving peace more space to live. Let these words move softly through you now. I let go of fear. I release worry. I am safe in this moment. Again, I let go of fear. I release worry. I am safe in this moment. Let them be slow. Let them be soothing. Let them wash over the places in you that have been holding on. You do not need to say them perfectly. You only need to let them touch the truth beneath the tension. The truth that you are here. The truth that this moment is real. The truth that peace is possible now, even before everything is solved. There is a version of this night where worry keeps speaking until morning. But there is also another version, a softer version, a kinder version. A version where fear is noticed but not obeyed. A version where worry is present but not fed. A version where you choose again and again to return to breath, to gentleness, to the safety of this moment. That version is available to you. Not because life is perfect, but because peace does not require perfection. It requires willingness. It requires softness. It requires the courage to stop letting fear be the loudest voice in the room. So tonight, let fear loosen its grip. Let worry step back. Let tomorrow wait. Let the past rest. Let your body feel supported. Let your mind feel less crowded. Let your heart hear a kinder message. You do not have to carry all of this through the night. You do not have to sleep with fear as your companion. You can choose another companion now. You can choose peace. You can choose trust. You can choose the quiet comfort of letting go, even if only for this night. And if the worries return later, meet them the same way again. Without anger, without panic, without surrendering your whole night to them. Just return. Return to the breath. Return to the truth of this moment. Return to the softness in your body. Return to the understanding that fear is not the only voice available to you. Peace is here too. Calm is here too. Safety is here too. And the more often you return, the more your whole being learns that it does not have to live in fear in order to stay protected. Say one last time within yourself, I release fear and worry now. I rest in peace tonight. Let those words settle like a soft blanket over the mind. Let them ease the body. Let them comfort the heart. Let them open a quiet path towards sleep. Tonight does not belong to fear. Tonight belongs to release. Tonight belongs to gentleness. Tonight belongs to peace. There is something very powerful about simple words spoken slowly in a quiet moment. Not because the words are magic on their own, but because of what they begin to open inside you. Gentle words can soften the body. Loving words can calm the mind. Repeated truth can quiet fear. And at night, when the heart is tender and the mind is tired, simple affirmations can become like soft lights in the dark, guiding you away from noise and back into peace. You do not need long or difficult words tonight. You do not need perfect language. Your spirit understands what is simple. Your body responds to what is kind. Your heart opens to what feels safe. So let these affirmations be easy. Let them be clear. Let them move slowly through you like warm water. Let them become a quiet rhythm that your whole being can rest inside. Say softly within yourself, I am safe tonight. Pause there for a moment. Do not rush past it. I am safe tonight. Let those words travel through your chest, your shoulders, your stomach, your breath. Let them reach the tired places in you that have stayed alert for too long. So much changes when the body begins to believe it is safe. Muscles loosen, breathing deepens, the heart softens. Safety is the beginning of rest. Safety is the beginning of calm. And tonight, you are allowed to receive that feeling. Now say, my mind can rest. Feel how gentle those words are. My mind can rest. Not my mind must rest. Not my mind needs to be forced into silence. My mind can rest. This is permission. This is kindness. This is a hand laid gently over the busy part of you, saying there is no need to keep running now. The day is done. The thoughts can slow. The effort can soften. The mind can rest. Say quietly now, I let go of fear. Let the words be slow and calm. I let go of fear. You do not need to push fear away harshly. You do not need to become upset with it for being there. Simply loosen your hold. Simply stop giving it so much space. I let go of fear. Again, I let go of fear. With each repetition, imagine your body becoming a little lighter, your chest becoming a little more open, your thoughts becoming a little less crowded. Fear does not need to follow you all the way into sleep. Now say, peace fills me now. Feel the softness in that. Peace fills me now, not later, not only when everything is perfect. Now, In this room, in this breath, in this moment, peace fills me now. Let it be as if quiet light is pouring gently into every part of you. Let it move through the mind, through the heart, through the body, through the spaces where tension has lived. Let peace be something you receive, not something you chase. Say softly, tomorrow will take care of itself. There is such deep relief in those words. Tomorrow will take care of itself. You do not need to live tomorrow tonight. You do not need to solve the future before sleep. You do not need to carry every possible outcome. Tomorrow will come in its own time, and when it does, you will meet it then. But tonight, you are here. Tonight belongs to rest. Tonight belongs to release. Tonight belongs to peace. You can repeat these words as slowly as you need. I am safe tonight. My mind can rest. I let go of fear. Peace fills me now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Let them become the soft music of your inner world. Let them replace the noise that has been too loud. Let them create a new feeling in the room inside you. A room where there is no pressure to perform. A room where rest is allowed. A room where your whole being can finally stop trying so hard. Affirmations are powerful at night because they gently change the direction of the mind. The worried mind loops in one direction. It repeats fear. It repeats what if. It repeats pressure. But an affirmation gives the mind another path. A softer path. A kinder path. And when that path is repeated with calm, the whole system begins to follow it. Your breathing follows it. Your body follows it. Your thoughts begin to follow it too. What you repeat matters. What you whisper to yourself matters. The atmosphere inside you is shaped by the words you return to again and again. So if old thoughts rise tonight, answer them with softness. If fear says something is wrong, answer with, I am safe tonight. If the mind says, keep thinking, answer with, my mind can rest. If worry says, hold on tighter, answer with, I let go of fear. If tension fills the body, answer with, peace fills me now. If tomorrow tries to enter the room early, answer with, tomorrow will take care of itself. This is not about arguing with fear. It is about choosing which voice you will nourish tonight. You may notice that as you repeat these words, your breath begins to settle into them. That is beautiful. Let the breath and the affirmations move together. As you breathe in, I am safe tonight. As you breathe out, my mind can rest. As you breathe in, I let go of fear. As you breathe out, peace fills me now. As you breathe in, tomorrow will take care of itself. As you breathe out, I release this night into rest. There is no rush. Let the rhythm be slow. Let the body learn calm through repetition. These affirmations are not here to pressure you into feeling something you do not feel. They are here to guide you gently toward what is already possible within you. Even if part of you still feels restless, speak them softly. Even if your thoughts still move, speak them softly. Even if peace comes little by little, speak them softly. You are not trying to become someone else. You are simply guiding yourself back to your own quiet center. And perhaps there is one affirmation that reaches you more deeply than the others tonight. Stay with that one. Let it repeat like a lullaby inside you. Maybe it is I am safe tonight. Maybe it is my mind can rest. Maybe it is peace fills me now. Maybe it is tomorrow will take care of itself. Let the words that bring the most softness become your companion for this moment. Let them wrap around your thoughts like a warm blanket. Let them return each time the mind wanders. Let them hold you. The power of simple words should never be underestimated. A simple truth repeated with love can change the whole feeling of the night. A simple sentence can open the door to deeper peace. A simple affirmation can become the bridge between a restless mind and a resting soul. So do not look for complicated answers right now. Stay close to what is gentle. Stay close to what is clear. Stay close to words that feel like care. Say them again now, slowly, softly, lovingly. I am safe tonight. My mind can rest. I let go of fear. Peace fills me now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Let each line sink deeper than the one before. Let each one touch a different part of you. Let each one become a message your whole being can believe a little more. And if you need nothing else tonight, let these words be enough. Let them carry you. Let them soothe you. Let them create a quiet space where the heart no longer has to brace. The mind no longer has to race, and the body no longer has to stay ready. Let them lead you into the softness you have needed all along. Let them remind you that peace can be simple, rest can be simple, and this moment can be simple too. Now let your mind drift into something softer, something quieter, something that asks nothing from you except your presence. Imagine that you are standing in a place made only of peace, a place where nothing is rushed, a place where the air itself feels gentle. The sky above you is deep and calm, touched by soft moonlight. Everything around you is still in the most beautiful way, not empty, not lonely, but safe, peaceful, and full of quiet life. The light here is not harsh. It is soft and golden, mixed with the silver glow of the night. It rests on everything with such tenderness. The ground beneath your feet feels warm and steady. The air is cool in the kindest way. There is a deep silence here, but it is not a silence that makes you uneasy. It is a silence that comforts you. A silence that says nothing is chasing you here. A silence that says you do not need to hurry. A silence that says you are held. In front of you there is a calm river flowing slowly and smoothly through the night. The water shines like liquid light. Moonlight dances on its surface in soft silver lines, and here and there a warm golden glow moves through it as if peace itself is flowing in the current. The river does not rush, it does not fight. It does not force its way forward. It simply moves with quiet certainty, knowing exactly where to go. And as you look at it, something inside you begins to remember that you too were not made only for struggle. You too were made for flow, for softness, for trust. Listen to the sound of the river. It is gentle and steady, like a soft song that has been playing forever. The sound is soothing to your mind. It quiets the noise inside you. It eases the tightness in your chest. It reminds you that there is a rhythm deeper than fear, deeper than pressure, deeper than all the thoughts you have been carrying. The river asks nothing of you. It does not ask you to explain yourself. It does not ask you to hold anything together. It only invites you closer. Above the river, the night sky is wide and clear. The moon is bright but soft, not distant and cold, but calm and loving. Stars shine quietly, like tiny lights of blessing spread across the dark. As you look up, you feel how vast and gentle this night is. You realize that there is so much space here, space above you, space around you, space within you. The tightness begins to loosen because there is finally room to breathe, room to soften, room to let go. As you stand there, you notice that in your hands you have been carrying small stones. Each stone holds a piece of what has weighed on you. One stone holds fear, another holds worry, another holds pressure, another holds tiredness, another holds the thoughts you kept replaying, another holds the need to stay in control. You feel the weight of them now. You see how long you have been carrying them. You realize how tired your hands have become, how tired your heart has become, how tired your whole being has become. The river is beside you, calm and full of light, and it feels as though it knows exactly what to do with all that weight. You do not have to keep carrying it. You do not have to keep pretending it is not heavy. You do not have to hold it one more moment than needed. So gently, one by one, place each stone into the river. Place the stone of fear into the water. Watch it sink and then dissolve into soft light. Place the stone of worry into the river. Watch it melt into peace. Place the stone of pressure into the water. See it lose its heaviness. Place the stone of tired thoughts into the river. Watch the current carry them away. Place the stone of control into the glowing stream. Feel your hands becoming lighter. Feel your chest opening. Feel your breath deepening. The river knows how to carry what you no longer need to hold tonight. Now your hands are empty. They are light. They are open. There is nothing left to grip, nothing left to force, nothing left to carry through the night. You look at your open hands and feel something beautiful inside you. Relief, space, peace. A quiet softness that has been waiting for you. You had forgotten how light your spirit could feel when it was no longer carrying so much. but now you remember. Step a little closer to the river. The water is warm and alive with gentle light. It does not frighten you. It welcomes you. Slowly, you step in. The water moves around your feet, then your legs, then gently rises around you like liquid comfort. It is warm, peaceful, and full of calm. It does not pull you sharply. It holds you softly. It supports you. It carries you without effort. You do not have to swim. You do not have to know where you are going. The current knows how to hold you. As you float, you feel your whole body relaxing more deeply than before. Your shoulders soften. Your jaw loosens. The space around your eyes becomes calm. Your chest opens. Your stomach softens. Your heartbeat becomes quieter. The river carries you gently, and with every small movement of the water, another layer of tension leaves your body. You realize that you do not need to stay strong here. You do not need to stay guarded here. You are safe here. Whisper softly within yourself, I am safe in the flow of life. Let that truth settle into your heart. I am safe in the flow of life. Again, I am safe in the flow of life. The river carries the words with you. The night carries the words with you. The stars above seem to bless the words, and as you repeat them, your whole being begins to believe them more deeply. The water carries you under the moonlight, through soft silver reflections, through the quiet beauty of the night. Nothing chases you here. Nothing demands from you here. There is no pressure here. There is only a sense of being gently guided. You do not know exactly where the river ends, and that is all right. You do not need to know. It is enough to be carried. It is enough to trust this moment. It is enough to rest in the truth that you are not alone in the flow. As you float, a warm golden light begins to glow from within the water itself. It rises around you, not bright in a sharp way, but soft and comforting. It surrounds you like love. It enters every part of you that has felt tired, worried, afraid, or tense. It moves into the places where fear has lived. It moves into the places where sadness has settled. It moves into the places where pressure has made a home. And everywhere it touches, there is ease. Everywhere it touches, there is peace. This golden light is gentle healing. It asks nothing from you except your willingness to receive it. It does not rush you. It does not force you. It simply surrounds you and reminds you that you are held by something kind. You are held by something wiser than your fear. You are held by something larger than your restless thoughts. You are held by life itself, by love itself, by peace itself. Rest there for a moment. Let yourself be carried. Let yourself be covered in soft light. Let yourself feel how easy it is to simply be here. No fixing, no striving, no proving, just floating, just breathing, just receiving. This is the softness your soul has been asking for. This is the calm your body has been longing for. This is the stillness beneath the noise. And if thoughts try to return, let them drift past like distant leaves on the water. You do not need to gather them back into your hands. Let the river carry them. Let the light dissolve them. Let the night take them gently out of the center of your awareness. Return again to the feeling of being held. Return again to the warmth of the water. Return again to the glow around you. Return again to the deep softness inside you. The river continues to carry you with quiet love. The moon continues to shine. The stars continue their silent blessing. And little by little, you feel yourself growing heavier in the best way, more relaxed, more supported, more ready to let go. The need to hold on fades. The need to understand everything fades. The need to control fades. There is only this beautiful night, this calm river, this soft golden light, and you finally allowing yourself to rest. Whisper softly now, I let the night carry me into peace. Again, I let the night carry me into peace. Let that be your truth. Let that be your image. Let that be the quiet picture your mind returns to whenever it needs comfort. This river is always here inside you. This moonlit peace is always here. This golden light is always here. You can return to it anytime. You can remember it anytime. And tonight, let it become the place where your mind lays down and your spirit breathes again. Now the night grows even softer. The mind has slowed. The body has begun to relax. The heart has become quieter. And this is where sleep can begin to come near, not as something you chase, but as something you allow. Sleep does not need to be forced. It arrives more easily when you stop standing at the door demanding that it come. It arrives when the body feels safe. It arrives when the mind is no longer trying to hold tomorrow. It arrives when the heart is willing to trust this moment. You do not need all the answers tonight in order to sleep. You do not need certainty. You do not need to know exactly how everything will turn out. You do not need every part of your life to be solved before your eyes can close in peace. You only need enough softness to let this moment be enough. You only need enough trust to stop asking the night to become the place where every mystery is answered. The night is not here to explain everything. The night is here to restore you. Sleep is a quiet act of trust. Every night, when you let yourself drift, you are saying yes to something unseen. You are saying yes to rest, yes to healing, yes to being carried for a while, yes to the truth that life can continue without your thoughts standing guard every second. There is something deeply beautiful about that. Sleep is not weakness. Sleep is trust made gentle. Sleep is surrender made peaceful. Sleep is your whole being saying, for now I release the need to stay awake to everything. If the mind tries one last time to reach into tomorrow, smile softly at it. You do not need to be harsh. Just guide it back. Tell it kindly, tomorrow can wait. Tell it, this moment is for rest. Tell it, the next step does not need to be taken tonight. The mind often returns to worry out of habit, not because it must, and habits can be met with patience. Again and again, guide yourself back without frustration. Again and again, choose peace over pressure. Again and again, return to the truth that you are allowed to sleep without solving the whole future first. You may not realize how much trust it takes to sleep when life feels uncertain. But every small softening matters. Every breath that deepens matters. Every moment you choose not to feed the fear matters. Every time you let your body become a little heavier against the bed, you are practicing trust. Every time you whisper, "I will meet tomorrow when it comes," you are practicing trust. Every time you choose rest over repeated mental effort, you are practicing trust. And that practice is healing you. Imagine now that the bed beneath you is not only holding your body, but holding your worries too. Imagine that the room itself is full of peace, thick and soft like warm night air. Imagine that every breath you take is carrying you a little closer to sleep, not because you are trying, but because you are finally allowing the body to do what it knows how to do. Your body knows how to rest. Your body knows how to let go. Your body knows how to move from wakefulness into sleep when it is given gentleness instead of pressure. Say softly now, "I trust sleep to come in its own time." Let those words remove all hurry. I trust sleep to come in its own time. Again, I trust sleep to come in its own time. That sentence creates so much space. It frees you from watching the clock inside your mind. It frees you from checking whether sleep is happening fast enough. It frees you from turning rest into another task. Trust sleep to come the way a flower opens in its own time, the way the moon rises in its own time, the way morning arrives in its own time. There is no forcing in the deep wisdom of nature. Let your night follow that same wisdom. The body falls asleep more easily when it feels there is nothing left to defend. So let there be nothing to defend now. Let the jaw soften. Let the tongue rest. Let the shoulders drop. Let the hands become still. Let the belly soften with each exhale. Let the eyes rest behind closed lids like they are sinking into warm darkness. Let the forehead smooth. Let the whole body receive the message that there is no danger in this moment. There is only night. There is only breath. There is only the quiet invitation to rest. If sleep comes slowly, that is all right. You are still resting. You are still healing. You are still doing something beautiful by lying here in peace instead of struggling against yourself. Even this quiet resting is good for you. Even this softness is medicine. Let go of the idea that the night must happen in one certain way. Let the night be gentle. Let it unfold. Let yourself drift at your own pace. Trust is patient. Trust does not rush. Trust does not scold. Trust simply stays open. You do not have to keep checking in with your mind. You do not have to keep asking, am I asleep yet? Am I calm enough yet? Is this working yet? Those questions create movement. Tonight, choose stillness instead. Choose surrender. Choose the quiet confidence that says, I can let go now. I can stop trying. I can be held by the night. Those words open the door much wider than pressure ever could. D. There is something so comforting in knowing that while you sleep, life does not stop loving you. While you sleep, healing continues. While you sleep, the heart continues beating without effort. While you sleep, the breath continues moving without force. While you sleep, the earth keeps turning, the stars keep shining, and life keeps holding you in ways you do not have to manage. Sleep is not an absence of life. It is being cared for by life in another form. So let yourself drift into that care. Let sleep be a trust fall into peace. Let your thoughts become fewer. Let the spaces between them grow wider. Let the body feel heavy, warm, and safe. Let the room grow softer around you. Let the darkness feel kind. Let everything unnecessary fall away. You do not need to take anything more with you. Not the day, not the worry, not the pressure, not the unfinished questions. Just this breath, just this softness, just this willingness to let go. Say quietly within yourself one last time, I am safe to sleep. My mind can rest now. Life will hold me through the night. Feel the truth of those words settling into every part of you. You are safe to sleep. Your mind can rest now. Life will hold you through the night. Let that be enough. Let that be all. Let that carry you the rest of the way. Before this night carries you all the way into rest, let these final words settle over you like a soft blessing. You have done enough for today. You have carried enough for today. You have thought enough for today. Nothing more is needed from you in this moment. Nothing more needs to be solved right now. Nothing more needs to be proven. This moment is complete just as it is, and you are allowed to be still inside it. Let your whole body soften one more time. Let the shoulders drop. Let the breath become slow and easy. Let the face relax. Let the chest open. Let the bed hold you completely. You do not have to hold yourself up with effort anymore. You do not have to stay strong for one more hour. You do not have to keep reaching for control. Tonight, let peace do what pressure never could. Let peace carry you. Everything you need does not have to arrive tonight. Everything you fear does not need your attention tonight. Everything you hope for does not need to be chased tonight. Life knows how to move. Life knows your name. Life knows your heart. Life knows the timing of what belongs to you. You can rest. You can trust. You can let the night hold what you no longer need to carry. If there is anything still heavy inside you, place it now into gentle hands beyond your own. Let the night take it for a while. Let love hold it for a while. Let life carry it for a while. You do not need to grip it one more time before sleep. You do not need to rehearse it one more time. You do not need to fear it one more time. Release it now. Release it softly. Release it with trust. Say quietly within yourself, everything is all right for this moment. Again, everything is all right for this moment. Let those words become your pillow. Let them become your blanket. Let them become the final truth your heart rests in tonight. Not tomorrow, not forever, just this moment. And in this moment, there is enough peace for you to rest. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not alone in the night. You are exactly where you need to be for this breath, for this pause, for this healing quiet. There is no race here. There is no pressure here. There is only this soft invitation to trust that rest is good, peace is safe, and sleep can come to you gently. Let gratitude rise now in the simplest way. Thank your body for carrying you through the day. Thank your breath for staying with you. Thank your heart for still being open. Thank the quiet of this night. Thank the peace that is beginning to settle. Gratitude softens the last edges of the mind. Gratitude opens the final door. Gratitude says, I receive this moment as it is. I receive this peace. I receive this rest. Whisper softly, thank you for this night of peace. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this rest. Let those words move through you like warm light. Let them seal the softness of this moment. Let them become the gentle close of all the noise that came before. And now, let yourself drift. Let the mind become quiet in its own time. Let the body grow heavy in the best way. Let sleep come like a kind hand resting over your heart. Let the night carry you. Let the breath carry you. Let peace carry you. You do not need to do anything more. All is well for this moment. Soft for this moment. All is peaceful for this moment. Rest now. Tonight was never about forcing your mind to become silent. It was about giving your mind permission to stop fighting. It was about laying down the weight of the day, loosening fear, releasing worry, trusting life, and remembering that rest is not something you must earn after everything is finished. Rest is part of healing. Rest is part of peace. Rest is part of love. You have been reminded that you do not have to carry tomorrow tonight. You do not have to solve every question before sleep. You do not have to stay tense in order to stay safe. Peace becomes possible when you soften. Calm begins to return when you stop demanding that everything be settled at once. Sleep comes more gently when you trust that life can still hold you while you rest. So take this truth with you into the quiet hours ahead. You are safe tonight. Your mind can rest. Fear can loosen. Worry can step back. Peace can fill you now. Tomorrow can wait. Life is still guiding you, even in the dark, even in He's silence, even while you sleep. And if you wake again in the night, return to these same soft truths. Return to the breath. Return to the gentle words. Return to the image of the calm river and the golden light. Return to the knowing that you do not need to force your way into peace. You only need to allow it. Let this be the way you close the day now, with kindness, with softness, with trust. Let this be the new message you give your body, your mind, and your heart. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to be held. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to sleep in peace. So one last time, whisper gently within yourself, I am safe tonight. My mind can rest. Peace fills me now. And with those words, let the night receive you fully.